Police. Cincinnati officer used racial slur while stuck in traffic at West High. This was written by Cameron Knight for the Cincinnati Enquirer, published on July 25th, 2022. Now, I want to read this story not because I believe it's super important, but I find it interesting, and I love and hate this article because on one hand, I think it's good that we point out racist officials in power and get them out of power as soon as possible. But I also think it's a problem when we focus too much on heightened stories of passion and people using racial slurs and doing a racism rather than systemic racism. It just bothers me because if we sit here and try to react to all the people doing racism every day, we'd be here forever and we never get anywhere, and we'd be stuck demonizing the other side. But if we focus on systemic change and making a safer society for everybody, racism will have less and less of effect because it can never actually be erased. But I will continue reading and let's get into the story. A Cincinnati police officer was caught by a body camera in April using a racial slur while stuck in traffic outside Western Hills University High School. According to an internal investigation, Officer Rose Valentino said, "Fucking niggers. I fucking hate them." This white lady, this white woman right here with a gun and a badge talking about she hates fucking niggers. Okay. All right. Sounds like somebody in my YouTube comment section. The statement came after a male student walking by her cruiser gave her the middle finger. And now I'll give you the middle finger too, Rose, the report said. Valentino's police powers have been suspended pending a disciplinary hearing, City Manager John Curp said. Interim Police Chief Teresa Theetge signed off on the internal review on Monday. Officer Valentino will not be on city streets in uniform, wearing a badge, or carrying a firearm, Curp said in a statement. According to the report, Valentino, who is white, says she does not have any racial biases that have affected her work and told investigators she does not use racial slurs. I just want to say it's impossible for somebody to use language like "I hate fucking niggers" and then say, yeah, I don't have any racial bias when I do my job of policing. Literally, your job is to protect the public, and instead you're out here using these slurs against people who you're supposed to protect. And it's not surprising that there are so many racist police, because these people are fed right-wing propaganda when they go into the academy, that they're here to uphold law and order, to be the protectors of society. And also in a country where guns are rampant, these people are sometimes judge, jury, and executioner for so many citizens' lives. So yeah, these people have a power trip. A lot of police do. I'm not trying to villainize all police, because police are the working class, like all people who don't have the means of production and capital. But yeah, these people also are sick and infected, and American society is making them sick. And we need to do everything we can to root out racist police, but we also need to do everything we can to abolish the Second Amendment, pass reparations, do a lot of things to make America a much more safer place, have universal health care, stuff to help people with mental problems, so we don't have so many crazy people on the streets. But I'll continue reading. Officer Valentino believed that she was being affected by her profession, has since sought treatment, the report states. So the profession is pushing her to feel this way. That's literally just what I said. The profession pushes you to view people that way, especially when we have unequal drug laws, when people who look like me are more likely to be pulled over, arrested, and sentenced for the same drug offenses that white men do, right? But yeah, when you criminalize a whole group of people, of course, the people who are meant to enforce the laws will view X group of people in a negative way. It's a cyclical problem, right? It goes in a circle, right? Mayor Aftab Pervel denounced the behavior in a statement Monday. "I was appalled to see Officer Valentino display such hateful, angry, and racist language. Our law enforcement represents all of this city, and Black Cincinnatians deserve to feel safe knowing they will be treated with mutual respect," Pervel said. "A fair and complete process needs to play out, but someone demonstrating this behavior has no place in a world-class organization like CPD." Cincinnati Police Union President Dan Hills said no Cincinnati police officers should use any racial slurs. "Anyone who does is wrong," he said. He said the union represents all officers during disciplinary matters and that every officer is entitled to a fair hearing. The news of the incident came to light as former Chief Elliot Isaac and the city of Cincinnati were in the midst of a federal trial with two other Cincinnati officers caught on camera using racial slurs. So Cincinnati seems to have a systemic problem with these guys in the locker room and in their police cars and out and about just saying, "Hey, nigger." I thought Cincinnati in the South, Cincinnati, Ohio. That state was in the Union. That goes to show you that, all of America has racism in their DNA. It's just a part of it. White people in America are filled up with so much hate, explicit or implicit. It's so much hate in America. It's insane. Those officers, one white and one black, sued saying their punishments were not equal for the same offense. Okay, I was just about to say this and think about this. But if we start firing people for using the N-word, right, and we only apply it to white people will be so mad because a black police officer might say, nigga, whatever, or as in other ways that black people know how to twist and use this word, because white people only seem to know how to use it in hate. But black people, when we use the word, it can have multiple meanings. I try not to use the N-word as much in my language, in my daily speech. You don't see me on my YouTube channel saying N-word this, N-word that, because, look at a slave ship and tell me how many niggas were on a slave ship, right? Anyway, those officers, one white and one black, sued. I would just say that, I think black Americans, we need to retire the N-word, honestly. I mean, it is powerful and it has so much, it is a beautiful word when you can use it in the right way, right? With the compassion and empathy that the word can be used for, to express solidarity with fellow black Americans. But yeah, if you're a public official, even a black police officer, I would say generally, let's not use the N-word. Let's just use those 8 hours we're at work to be on our best behavior, because we're trying to get all the racist police out of there. So black police officers, if you're watching this, my hope is that you're toned down on the N-word usage if you are using it around the white guys, and let them just expose themselves, and then we get those racists out of the police force. That's all I'll say. In that case, the officers were suspended for 56 hours, but a labor arbitrator later overturned the suspension, and the officers received written reprimands. In 2020, Valentino was charged with domestic violence and criminal damaging following a fight with her sister. Oh, she's a little violent lady. She pleaded not guilty. Valentino's police powers were suspended, and she was assigned to an administrative assignment. The charge was reduced to disorderly conduct. The court ordered her to take anger management classes and sentenced her to 2 years probation, records show. In 2019, she was one of 3 Cincinnati police officers named, along with the city of Cincinnati, in a federal lawsuit by a realtor and prospective homebuyer. The men alleged they were illegally detained after a retired Cincinnati officer called 911 to report a break-in, and they were held at gunpoint. 3 days after the suit was filed, the city of Cincinnati apologized and announced a $151,000 settlement. So this lady's been a little thug. How the hell can you be on probation and a police officer? I didn't even think that was possible. God, the recruitment standards must be very low. All right. In 2011, Valentino was one of 4 female Cincinnati police officers featured in TLC's Police Women reality documentary series, Police Women of Cincinnati. So this little thug, this lady was a thug. Oh God, this lady was a gangster, a thug, a low down criminal with a badge, and she was able to be on reality TV. Is white privilege not a real thing? Is white privilege not a real thing? Seriously. Let this be a black woman. Let this be a black woman that did half of the shit that she did. This shit would have been done. She would have been no TLC. She would have been on locked up. She would have been on locked up behind bars. Women of Cincinnati. What the hell? She joined the police force in 2008. During her last 4 yearly performance reviews, her rating was exceeds standards. Wow. Valentino has 2 reprimands in her personnel file. Both were for failure of good behavior. The first was for showing body camera footage from a homicide to members of her family in 2019. The second was related to the domestic violence incident in 2020. The Enquirer is reviewing the body camera footage of the incident. This lady is a thug, a criminal. She does not deserve to be on the streets. So many people would say if this story was about an unarmed black man who got killed by the police, and it's not, they would look at the picture of the person in question as a thug, a criminal. But this lady, when I look at this little woman's face, she literally was a thug, a criminal. And we need to look at most police who act this way as such, especially if they have a rap sheet, a rap sheet. Like you're on probation and being a police officer, you're on reality TV being a police officer, you're detaining people without their will, showing people homicide footage. You're a little criminal, lady. But because of white privilege, because she has green eyes and white skin, she gets the benefit of the doubt in American society as not being seen as the bad guy. This is sick, and it's insane that this issue in the police force is so systemic. I hope she does get fired. If she really did say it, if they have it on camera, you should be out of here. But most importantly, we need to decriminalize drugs once and for all. Abolish the war on drugs, because it's had a negative effect on black men and their relationship with the police, because the police are forced to over-police us over stupid drug laws that don't make sense. Secondly, we need to get rid of the Second Amendment, because many police are on edge and on literal fear for their lives from all Americans, not just white or black Americans or Hispanic Americans. They're in fear for their lives because police see videos of them being killed by civilians all the time, and that puts them on edge, and they're always worried that every day could be their last in their job. And while we continue to let guns permeate the streets, more and more police will die. More and more police will get killed. More and more police will be killing civilians, shooting unarmed civilians of all races and ethnicities. It can stop. So while I think her actions are reprehensible, are immoral, unethical, and not becoming of a public official, I do think that about her actions. She is a victim, like all of us, of the circumstances that we live in American society, where the ills of society affect our mind and make us do things, say things, and believe things we otherwise wouldn't had those negative parts of society not existed. So that's my talk about this story. I thought it was interesting. This lady's a thug. I love saying that. Look at this little gangster. People would look at me and look at her and ask, which one of you has ever been on 2 years probation? And they would say, oh, most likely the black guy, when this woman was a police officer and was that. That's white privilege like I've never seen it. Anyway, my name is Simon Hill. Thank you for watching.